As we can see with this Wisp, we just jump in the air and we're safe. If we get in danger, we double cast her too, and we're getting a certain time frame of immortality or just invisibility if we just cast it once. We can nuke by casting her 3, and it'll have no problem bouncing around killing level cap enemies. We've got Overguard generated off our Furus. When we hit an enemy with Overguard, like this here. And if all else fails, we'll have the hammer. Do AoE kill, and look at that, 68 million damage, because it will take the breach surge damage and tax it around. So Wisp is extremely safe at level cap, nothing to stress about. Hello, I wanted to make a video showcasing a Wisp at level cap. I know I've done this before, but I think this is going to be the most comprehensive and up-to-date one. So I'm going to presume that you guys all know about level cap, cascade, or you're getting into it, and you kind of understand Wisp's abilities. To very easily simplify it, I'm going to do that for this video. This is going to buff your health, your speed, your fire rate, and it's going to shock nearby enemies. And by shocking that nearby enemies, you know they won't be able to attack you for a couple of seconds. This is going to allow you to go invisible, and if you double tap it, you will get 3 seconds of invulnerable, as you can see. This is going to be what I would call your nuking ability. You're going to cast it, it's going to blind enemies in a radius, like you can see in the image, and then when you shoot them in the head, there's a chance that that spark will bounce around and do insane damage. This is nourished just so we can free up viral on our guns. You know, we can have corrosive heat, corrosive heat, magnetic on weapons if we set up like this. So shards, strength, duration, casting speed, corrosive. This really doesn't matter. All I would say that would kind of matter is the strength. This is just preference for me. We're going to strip some armor at level cap with corrosive modder on it stuff. So mod wise on Wisp, we have Crepuscular and Hotshot. Now we'll deal with the Hotshot after. Crepuscular is going to be active. So if we jump in the air, Crepuscular is going to be active. So if we jump it up in the air and then cast this, we'll get a stronger buff. Or if we jump up in the air and cast Nourish, we'll get 30% stronger buff because of the strength in it. Now what I mostly use this for is high priority targets, Xmas, Disruption, Thrax. So while invisible, gain 30% strength and 3x critical multiplier. So I cast this, and during the invisible duration, that's when I shoot the Thrax or the Demolist, because we'll get that 3x critical damage multiplier. Now if we jump in the air and we're invisible and we shoot, we break it. This doesn't work. But if we jump in the air and throw glaives or slam, it doesn't break. It still gets the 3x critical damage multiplier. So that's why I have a hammer on this build. Fused Reservoir, that's just to cast all 3 of these instead of doing them one by one like you can see in the animation. Just going to cast one by one. This will cast all of them at the same time for us. This is going to give us a tiny little bit of gating, more strength, you can see, a bit duration and a little bit of range. So we'll demo this just like this. So if I just cast one, see we've got a decent bit of health, but now if I cast invisibility, we get more health because we buffed it by 30%. But then if you Void Sling, get more strength from Madarai, go invisible, then cast it again, you get even more. So that's the way you want to cast their one. You want to Void Sling, go invisible, cast one. So another thing with this here, this Mo, if we go a far enough distance away and we cast our C in it, we'll instantly teleport and give it a huge radius. You see that? Give it a really big radius. But also, if we look at that, cast the Ghost, then cast the 3, so that was casting the 2 and the 3, the Ghost also puts out a breach surge. So that's the best way to max its radius. You're going to look at this and cast your ghost, and then cast your 3, and you're going to get huge radius. Now that's our invisible time. We're going to go invisible, and we're going to shoot high priority targets like that. And like I said, if we jump in the air and shoot, we break it. See, the invisibility was broken instantly. If we jump in the air and slam, we don't break it. So if you want to utilize it, only shoot while casting 2. And if you want to melee, you can jump in the air or cast the 2, and you can not break it and still get that 3x critical damage multiplier. So for survivability, obviously, you jump in the air. To lose track, you jump in the air, you land. If you're in a sticky situation, a lot of the times you can just survive by doing this, by just jumping in the air until you get some of your shields back, jumping about, moving about, because they can't track you. But if you're in a really hairy situation where you take a nasty status proc and you've got enough energy, we can just chain in vulnerabilities. Look at that. By then, the status proc should be gone. Or if we break our shield, we can just keep casting that till we get some shields back. Now, the way we'd be killing the high priority targets with the setup I've got, we'd have your Nourish active, we'd go up to them, we'd cast your 2, cast your 3, then you would headshot them. And this should jump about, help you AoE kill more targets. You know, if it's just a disruption, you could come up to them, you could climb them up, cast 2, then shoot them in the head. And the breach surge is going to do crazy damage. I can't confirm yet, but I've got a suspicion that if we are invisible while we cast the breach surge, it'll inherit the critical damage multiplier and the hotshot multiplier. I think, I don't know though. So we'll go invisible, cast breach surge, shoot somebody in the head, and bounce around. Shoot them in the head, go invisible, shoot them in the head. And it bounce around like you can see. Now, the breach surge can inherit viral from Nourish. Now look at that big damage we're doing. See that bouncing around hitting them all. So it's the sort of thing you're going to hope for and kind of go for in this. Now, if you want extra survivability, go at our secondary of your choice. You don't have to use the Furious. Nuke the Overguard now. Cast Breach Surge and nukes on Diriga. We'll get into the Diriga build in a minute. I'm just kind of showing the interactions with the 2 and the 3, because that's the main bread and butter of this. You get the Breach Surge on, shoot them with the Furious, and look at the damage bouncing around everywhere. Insane damage. So we're turning any sort of single target gun into an AoE gun, which is a great feature. Now, as for slams, we go again, nothing different here. Cast 2, cast the 3, then look at that damage bouncing around to give it even more AoE. Pretty nutty damage. So now let's showcase our survivability. We'll unpause these guys. Now let's just use jumping. Now the Diriga is status proccing them, which is making things a bit easier. But let's let them focus on us. Watch this. They're focused on us. Jump. No clue where we are. Jump in the air. So this is why Wisp can survive level cap cascades so effortlessly. You're constantly jumping between rooms, and then once we factor in that once we stand and let them see us, faster that or 1, look at that, it doesn't know how to follow us, we're fine. Now if we get in a bit of danger, double cast that one, and look at us, we get a duration of invulnerability. Get in a bit of danger again, double cast that. Then we can cast the 3 and look, we've got a decent chunk of shields back. We jump around in the air for a bit, cast it again, why don't you? Can if you want to. Cast it, cast more abilities. Now we've got virtually full shields back. Now these guys will be blinded now, so once we get into one of them or two of them, cast invisibility, cast the 3, and this is going to bounce around and nuke everybody. And if we get in danger, we cast the 2 again. Now, if we are just going to encounter a group of enemies, we're going to have this up, we're going to have another shot, we're going to jump into the group of them, cast their 2, cast their 3, get a few headshots off, jump in the air while we're pretty much immortal because nobody can track us while we're in the air, and look at the sort of damage that is done. Our level cap, it might not kill that easily, but look at this. If we see a group of enemies down here or a Serax, we want to get to them quick, we can do this. See that group of enemies? See that? Cast this. If we don't get hit in that stupid bubble they've got. So let us secondary get some overguard back if we need it. And they're wiped out. They're blinded as well with the overguards down, and they've got breach surge on them, so they're just sitting ducks. Now let's go into the slamming of this. See guys. Cast invisibility, cast the 3. And insane damage. And if we're constantly jumping in the air, they don't really get the chance to track us. So, you know, we can just spawn them in like this. Now let's say we're running through rooms of level cap people. We're worrying about getting hurt. For secondary out, get a bit of overguard, we jump again. We're running through rooms, we're looking for priority targets. We cast their 2, cast their 3. Blind some of them. Cast the 2. Some overguard back. Cast the 2, 3. Jump and slam. If all else fails, then everything will die. So if we just find some normal dudes, we'll go in with these guys. So let them track us. Diddiga is such a good distraction as well by freezing and putting rad in all of them and priming for this gun to be insane damage. Look at it. That we're pretty much safe even just standing in front of them. You know, these are really beefy enemies. Look at this. Millions of damage and headshots. Arcane hotshots constantly stacked too from the Diddiga. These guys aren't even focusing on us because they are so busy. Look at that, 407 million from the breach surge with the slam. So if I take off the Diddiga just for a moment to showcase and let them track us, we'll showcase more of the jumping and how good just her passive by jumping is to keep us alive. So these guys are all going to track us now. So if we're jumping room to room, we'll land for a second. They see us cast that twice, we get a certain amount of invulnerability. See? Cast it once, we've got invulnerability, we've got a hit there. They didn't let the shield get up enough. So you would go invisible, chain it, get your shield up. And that would be it. Then hope you've got some energy. Now obviously this isn't completely foolproof. No build really is. Now they're blinded. They shouldn't really focus on us anymore. As he says, famous last words. So we are going to encounter guys like this all over the place. We're going to jump. Caster 2. The guns are the problem here. That's why our issue was there. Caster 2, Caster 3. Blind everything. And then we need more survivability issues. We just jump in the air and we're going to be fine. Slam these guys. Look at the sort of damage we'll do. Invisible. Caster 3. Now we can't do anything. And they're dead. So let's talk about getting like a normal Auric battle group, because they were ridiculously strong guys I shot there, so that was pretty stupid. So we have Wisp in now. Auric battle group. See us? Oh, out energy. Double Caster 2. Caster 3. Pretty much everybody's CC'd now. Not interested enough. Now this doesn't matter on the level. You know, you can keep. This is going to scale up to level cap. Getting a bit of danger with cast invisibility, and you're always going to be virtually at full energy. I'm not here because I'm not in a real mission where there's more people running about. We've not got equilibrium on either, so I'm not picking up these energy orbs. So fine and easy. It's easiest to showcase the strength of it really on the Eximus. We don't have Diriga to really help us, so as long as we're just jumping, as we can see, some of them are shocked. We can even jump in the air, caster invisibility, caster 3, and this damage can often bounce around and do really crazy damage if you're able to aim and you're not an idiot like me. Look at that, big damage. So this is going to be part of the bread and butter for level cap, moving around like that. So the Diriga, why is the Diriga so good? Put him back on with a burst laser. Here's the build again. Since deconstruct can be swapped out, I just have it there for when I have it on frames that do use equilibrium. You can swap it out for probably anything else you wanted. A shield charger maybe, that would be good. So Diriga's going to boost our shields quite a lot as well. Where's Guardian? That's what we'll put in. We'll put in Guardian. Well, we don't have the room because we've got this in. So we'll get that out. We'll put in Guardian. It's going to periodically give us a full shield kit. So let's showcase the buffs to the guns with Hotshot. So we'll go up here. Now let's look at how quickly this is going to stack Arcane Hotshot for us. Where is it? It's at 40 stacks already. It's at 50. Now the damage it's going to do is insane. These are all prime guys. That was no stacks. Look at the levels of damage we are now already doing. This is why this was killing level gap with a couple of squeezes of the gun. It is astronomical levels of damage. That's why multiplicative guns are so good. We can also make this multi-target because we cast Brief Surge, and then look at that. Takes this single target beast for killing Thrax into a multi-target beast. We do that again. It's our hotshot stacked up. Our hotshots at 33, 40, 41, 50, that'll do. Cast the 2, get the crit damage bonus. Cast the 3. And alt fire into the head. And you know, that took a lot of them out. Made something single target into a big AoE. Meanwhile, they're blinded. So that's the bread and butter of this Wisp build, really. Some other guns that are going to be really good in her can be the Dual Talks. You know, of course, it's really, really good. This is the build if anybody's interested. Fortifier, gain overguard. Not that we really need it, because a lot of the time you're just jumping around slamming. The Strun, this is another excellent weapon on her. And if you don't like hammers, you can easily take one of these. And we'll showcase the glaive. So get this already stacked up. So strong, it's hard to actually charge this gun because it does so much damage. And now we've charged up. We've got Arcane Hotshot boosted as well. Yeah, just ludicrous amounts of damage and status. So if we summon in some beefy boys to show really how good it is, these guys here, where are they? Have level cap levels of health. I think it's equivalent to some sort of heavy gunner. So if we go invisible, caster 3, something that's already AoE becomes an insane amount of AoE. As you can see. So we've got the Dual Toxicist, another great choice on Wisp. Doesn't hit his head. Don't think I'm hitting it. There we go. Now this will be stealing overguard on every Xmas hit and just ludicrous damage. Seeks out heads, melting, level cap, levels of health effortlessly. So, you know, if we had discharged while we jumped room to room, casted that, you know, then yeah, just ludicrous damage. But we all know how good the Dual Tox is. Something like the Torrid, another great choice. So let's showcase Falcor. Any glaive will do this. Now, if you notice, throw in air, it doesn't break our invisibility. So, without buffing it, just throw this. Once we get influence to proc. I think influence is proc in there. That's it now. So yeah, pretty crazy levels of damage, and then when we factor in, you know, the invisibility and breach surge, yep, you know, it's just going to wipe out massive areas of enemies into the millions. So that's a little showcase of it, how easy she is to survive. If I pull out this strun and unpause these guys here, jump around, they can't really track me. Past the 2, past the 3. And you know, rooms of enemies die effortlessly. For another shot, so to ensure we have energy in case we need to panic spam this to get out of parry situations. And you know, I don't even have the hammer on, but look, I think I got the hammer on. Throw the glaive, everything will die. Get the hammer back out quickly just to show it again. Let's take a different hammer this time. Let's take Architectron. Set up like this. Influence and gas. So when you run around a room, in the air, staying invisible, cast the 2, cast the 3, for another shot, get a hammer out, get a slam on, and everything's just nuked effortlessly. Room, your new room, slam, jump in the air, slam. If you need to do it that way, you can do it that way. Or you can use it as gun buffing like you've seen that I done too. Jump up in the air, cast the 3, and everything's slammed and dead. So Wisp is a fantastic frame. We're going into disruption, any mission really, you know, like I says, when you encounter that high priority target, come out, you shoot the Thrax thing, the Thrax spawns you immediately come in here, cast your 2, cast your 3, and shoot that Thrax in the head and he'll be dead. And quite often the Breach Surge will go around and nuke everybody around it. So, thanks for watching. Cheers.